So, best practices for data, and then I'm also going to talk about AI. It's important to understand that nothing will be possible without the data. So earlier it was all about availability of data. Now companies are also thinking about, do we have enough data? But enough data can still be produced through synthetic data. So even if you have just 100 rows, it's okay. But are those 100 rows good enough is what you have to think about. And that is where your data quality frameworks come into practice. And then comes your dimensionality reduction techniques. If you have 1,000 variables, who is the person who's deciding what is more important than the others? Are you using PII? So a lot of those data governance models are also needed to have a responsible AI model rollout. And the last one is, do you have the right technology, right people, the right skill set to be able to deal with this extremely valuable customer data? Now, for the models, I think as a data scientist, I was always inclined to take the next best model, the next shiny model, the black box model. But as I have matured in my career, I've realized that that's not the right approach. We need to think about, do we even need a machine learning approach? Can we just do with a statistical model? Or let's say just a rule-based engine. Will that suffice, right? Because everything costs, everything comes with the cost. So as we grow in the organization, we also have to think about all those factors. Then analyzing the problem, what would be the ROI of my AI product? Who is benchmarking that? Who measures that ROI? We need to think about all those questions when we are thinking about our next AI model. What would the success of the model look like? This is such a variable measure, and I always see data scientists talking about, oh, but my MSE and RMSE was good, but that's not good enough. You need to think about also how your AI model is doing compared to your legacy systems. Because if you launch something, it should do better than the other systems. So there has to be that benchmarking. And bias versus variance trade-off is another risk that we have. Some models perform underfitting, some do overfitting. What is the right model to choose? If you're not using some automated techniques, you might have to have an array of models, compare the performances, do benchmarking, and then choose the ultimate model that goes in production. And the last one, which is my favorite, being in the regulated industry, is accuracy versus interpretability. When you have to generate explainable AI model for your model risk committee every time you have to roll out, that's a problem because you can't explain neural networks. You can explain, oh, what features led to that decision, but how do you explain those models? So if you don't need it, if you can't explain it, we might not even use it.